Newsom has legal problems in California as it is, and they're only going to get worse. And he actually needs to become president because that's basically the only way that he bulletproofs himself in the future. It's a teeter-totter with the Democrats' side right now. They just and the big fear is that they put in somebody that's like Obama, right? That was weak, that has no.
Well, Obama, that was a race. That was a race thing, right?
No personal agenda. He comes in, says all the right things, but he's a puppet. He's controlled completely by their political machine, and that's the really big problem, right? That's huge, man. Like scary stuff. Because if we take where we're at now, and you 10x that, inflation, interest rate, banks starting to collapse. We already see it in commercial real estate. I don't know what you do in real estate, but I pay a lot of attention to real estate. Commercial real estate right now is terrible and small, and it's not big banks. It's small town banks that make these loans to people like you. You want to build a studio like this, you go to them and say, I need $300,000 to build a studio, and they give it to you. And then 6 months later, because you can't pay the increase in tax, the fees that the Democrats want you to pay, the typical leftist with his hand out every single time you turn around, because you can't pay that, now you got to quit. You close up shop, but you still owe that money on that warehouse.
Oh, I've got a company. I've been in the same industry for 28 years, and in 23 of January, my business shut down. I had I have a business loan that's tied. I think it's tied to my person. It's under my corporation, but somehow it's a guaranteed, probably right through SBA. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So you can't throw that under bankruptcy.
No.
So the problem is, because of the economy, that business went under. Now I got two other companies. One that's going, a supplement company that's doing really well, relatively speaking, and then the new business that I started is taking off big. I can't talk about that right now, but at the end of the day, I've got this business loan for $1,100 a month, and I can't. And my business that I had that was making almost 7 figures a year. I can't pay that loan, so I'm paying that loan out of other revenue.
Right.
So I understand,
and you can do it, but there are going to be a lot of people. There's a lot of businesses out there that can't do it, and that what that does is that takes less loan power away from your local bank. If enough small businesses go out, and by small I mean 100 people, right? Legit businesses that make 7 figures a year. Enough of those go under, and we're in a world of hurt. And that's exactly
what's happening.
Who's being affected. Exactly. And the banks are in trouble. They've been in trouble for 3 years, and they've just been able to maintain. And my realtor and I have really had a lot to say about it, because we were wondering where the short sales are. There's no short sales, but we know that there are foreclosures pending. Where are the bankruptcies? Where are all these things happening?
BlackRock is buying all the short sales.
Well, and that's probably true.
I mean, that's probably what 60% of the real estate out there per home.
Well, in a specific area, in a specific market, which.
It's funny.
BlackRock did something really interesting. I talked about it on my show the other night. They claimed a $1.7 trillion loss on their real estate. It allowed them to make money in 3 ways. The first way it allowed them to make money is they claimed $1.7 trillion against $9 trillion income of revenue, right out of the top, just 1.7 off. They also went back to the banks and said, "Hey, if we just lost $1.7 trillion, we need to renegotiate all of our loans on these properties, or we're just gonna have to start selling them off." The scariest thing on the planet is that BlackRock and Vanguard start selling off properties, because and this is why this should really worry everybody.
There's too much inventory,
right? And this is the thing is people say, "Wow, they wouldn't do that. That's bad business." I'm like, you fucking kidding me? These guys are not mentally invested in real estate. They're looking at a fucking spreadsheet. If it drops below 3% earnings or whatever it is, whatever their target is, they will sell that shit. The only reason they didn't last time is because they could make money on it. and they renegotiated the loans. They made money there. They turned right around and devalued the houses, which they didn't have to pay as much property taxes. They made money there too. They just put money back in their pockets. They created their own term for it. I can't remember what it was. I said it on my show the other night, but it's like I'll find it. I'll send it to you. It's hilarious, and nobody realized it. Everybody just went on with their day, and these guys made trillions, claiming a loss that may not have even actually been a loss, and they're going to keep doing it. And that's why they haven't unloaded the real estate. But if it drops below a certain percentage, they're a hedge fund, dude. They don't give a shit. They don't care if it's stocks, bonds, bales of hay, or fucking houses.
The other thing too is we're going to have this situation come up here. Two things people don't realize: that nobody's selling their house because their interest rate's too low.
That's right. Or they're upside down. Over 36% right now of
Well, that's the people that bought late, right? So now you got these new inventory coming out. Mm-hmm. So here's the catch. So nobody's selling. There's no resales, very little. And now there's all this new inventory that's slowly being bought. Once the economy turns around, the interest rates go down. Now you got all these houses. Well, now it's going to be a buyer's market again, right? Because you can't. There's 200 more houses, the same house as yours in the same area. So now people are going to start dropping the prices, right? People say, if it goes, people are going to start buying homes. Yes, they'll buy homes, but again, it's an over influx of inventory. There's too much.
Right.
Because if I was at a 6% loan on my house, I'd have sold it. Mm-hmm. Because I know that coming back, I could probably get, when the economy turns around, 4 or 5%, maybe 4 if I'm lucky.
100%, man.
Now that I'm at just above 2, I think it was 3.0024. Okay. It's like, I can't sell it because I'll never get that interest rate.
Yeah, you're not going to get, and you're going to, in every point of interest on a $500,000 house over a 30-year term, every point of interest is $100,000 you pay in interest.
Right. And here's the other part about that. My mortgage payment is less than most people's rent on a 5-bedroom.
Right.
With a attached house.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
I've got a 4-bedroom with a house attached with a 5th bedroom. Yeah. You know, in a gated community, it's like people can't get a 2-bedroom apartment and they're paying more than me. So I'm like, what would I do?
Right.
So I'm with a house, and it's funny because people say, "Oh, a house is an asset." I said, no, it's a liability because you can't take cash. You're sitting there. Yeah. The only way you can make money is if you sell it. So then if I sell it, I'm in a freaking apartment, or not apartment. I'm renting a house, and I'm paying $1,500 more a month.
Right.
And then I got all this cash. So then you got to turn around and figure out how to create revenue with it.
And you can't do it if you don't do a 1031 exchange, and you got to pay tax on all that cash.
Yeah, yeah. So then you just bail to Mexico, check out, change your name to Jesus Martinez, and they'll never find you because Jesus Martinez is a billion of them in Mexico. And then you're like, where's this guy who owes his money in the U.S.? Right. Like, Jesus Martinez. I don't know. Yeah, what's he look like? You know, I could blend in. And then it's like, take my money and run.
I'm too white.
Well, but you know what? You'd be surprised, man. You'd be surprised.